I have 3 books in publication: Pearl in the Sand, Harvest of Rubies, and its sequel, Harvest of Gold. All 3 novels are biblical fiction. The first book, Pearl in the Sand, is the story of Rahab, a prostitute from Canaan that God chose to be in the lineage of Jesus. The reason I wanted to tell Rahab's story is because I wanted to examine what kind of God would choose a woman from the worst part of Canaan, a woman who had been a practicing prostitute, and yet God wanted her to be married to one of his leaders in Judah, and beyond that, and far more importantly, to be in the lineage of his own son. What kind of God would choose such a woman? What kind of grace would accept, love, want, and woo such a woman? My second book is Harvest of Rubies. There are 3 main characters in that book. Sarah, who's a scribe to the Queen of Persia. The man she finds herself married to against her will, Darius. Darius is a little Mr. Darcy-ish. He's proud and aloof, and he has to work toward liking Sarah. And fortunately, because these 2 characters are so imperfect, they have Nehemiah to guide them along. Sarah is witty, brilliant, she's loyal, and yet she can't seem to get through her own problems very well. Sarah's been very wounded in her childhood, and she has learned not to trust God. And as she goes through suffering, she has to learn that God is indeed to be trusted. Sarah and Darius' story continues in the book Harvest of Gold. Sarah and Darius have to face many challenges in this book. Someone is trying to kill the king. They have to save Jerusalem from its enemies, and they have to save their marriage. Nehemiah, meanwhile, is struggling very hard to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem in spite of the fact that he's constantly under attack. Again, Harvest of Gold is another adventure. There is intrigue, there's a lot of romance, but at its core, this story asks the question: how do you, in a life that consistently comes against you, against your relationships, against your heart, against your very soul, how do you stand strong, and how do you overcome? How do you become an overcomer and win the victory in God?